Hey there, folks. It's the E-Man here. I guess I wanted to show a video where I actually did play the DLC. I think it worked out pretty well, but I had some issues where my capture card was slowing down, and yeah, I was playing the game and I didn't notice it was really slow down. I discovered that I had to adjust the medium. Yeah, I had to adjust the graphic settings on the game so it would work with my Logitech camera. And on another note, I reset, kind of like reinstalled Windows on my computer. And now my computer kind of runs really great. So I hope maybe that fixed it up. Yeah, and I've had to reinstall everything and try to get passwords. So I pretty much just, I think I'm going to play this video. I have it muted, and I'll sit here and talk about what I really like about this DLC and is it worth getting. So let's begin here. Where this starts off is where you go in the path of the pilgrim. Right after you defeat the archbishop from the cathedral level, boom, you're right there where you need to be. But you have to go to the Hotel Krat and get a special item. And then when it says that you have that item, then you come here. It restores it restores a stargazer, a fancy stargazer, so you can supposedly you're being called from another time to go to another time in the history. So this DLC, well, I'm sure a lot of you know that already. It's a prequel, and the time travel aspect is a little weird. Yeah, it's a little bit weird. I don't want to give away too much of the DLC, so we're just gonna show the initial part, my favorite part. All right, let's get this going. Yeah, there's a stargazer that you go to there's a graveyard in the path of the pilgrim, and it's like this weird stargazer that's broken. Can't use it, so you go to the one that's not too far from it, and then all of a sudden it tells you to go to that one. And there's white Ergo that then awakens it. But let's get going here. I'm sorry if you hear I have my AC going, so because it's getting humid here in Maine. It's gonna be hot. Yeah, it's like really getting close to 90 the next 2 days. So yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's Maine. It's June, and we're getting this high. Yeah, it's like something going on with the weather and the climate is just weird. But anyway, let's get going with this. Yeah, and we're not going to be hearing any game audio. What now? What's going on? Oh. Yeah, I seem to be already having problems with that playing back. Yeah, I mean checking out my levels and stuff. There's a there's a stargazer. Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, it was doing it even then. Too much going on the screen, I guess. Yeah, I'm level 72. Yeah, this DLC is tough. You definitely want to make sure that you're leveled up and get all your e-organ upgrades. Try to get as much of those as you can. It is kind of like the Elden Ring DLC, where it's kind of like the DLC. I think is a little more challenging than a normal game. Yeah, so you can go here. But yeah, and don't worry, you can come back to the base game once you start finding stargazers or Yeah, stargazers, I guess. Yeah, it's now lying. I like that. This game is very creative. The DLC is definitely too. Let's see. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Hey, wiki wiki. Come on, get up. Yeah. Uh, yeah. And Jiminy's like, "What the heck's going on? Where are we?" He's an interesting character. You never see him, but you always hear him. So yeah, it's a very creative thing. Yeah. Yeah. There, I was commenting on how where's the Stargazer. I was worried I wouldn't be able to get back. Yeah. Yeah, I like the snow effects and stuff. That's really cool. Yeah, this is the very first area of the DLC. If you hadn't figured that out already. Yeah, there's new status disorders, new enemies, which are rather creative enemies, and tough enemies too. Yeah, yeah, they don't. Be more gruesome with the violent stuff going on. Yeah, I was like, what the heck are those things? Yeah, these things are like those other enemies that had other status disorders they would give you, but these ones, frost. Yeah, they put out some cloud of frost, and if you get in that, you get freeze status, and that drains your health just like overheat does. I guess since he's a puppet, his joints would freeze. I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I'm using a fully leveled up weapon too. Yeah, and I have like yeah, this was done like hadn't beaten the game yet. So this was like the first playthrough. So if you've played the base game a couple of times and go to the DLC, maybe it might be a little easier. But yeah, this polar bear is very interesting. He has this spiked cage on his head, and he's like trying to slam you with it. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to hit him with a fire, but he just has a high tolerance to that. Yeah, you definitely want to go get your Legion arms upgraded and stuff too. I would assume. It's kind of hard to want to do that, but that's the best way I think to enjoy this DLC. Yeah, see that when capture cards started slowing down. There was so much going on. I think the sprite of that bear is. Yeah, I mean the graphics are great on this. Yeah, this was not the game. This is the capture card. So yeah, this is of course the this is a PC version. And I feel like the PlayStation 5 game seems to run a little bit better than the PC version. Hmm. Yeah, it's almost still images almost. Yeah, I forget how long. Yeah, it took me a little bit just to. And this guy is just. This is like an enemy you're just gonna find throughout this first level. Yeah, this isn't even a mid boss. This is just an enemy at the fight. Yeah, the DLC definitely expects you to know the full mechanics of fighting in this. Yeah. And it's very satisfying to finally feel sometimes like, yay, I'm actually able to parry the attack and do what I'm supposed to do. Like get in there, slash a little bit. I used to think it was like Elden Ring, where I was trying to roll out of the way and stuff. It's like you have to do the parrying and the blocking. as my weapon. I was going to change my outfit because I was like, oh, let's change the outfit to match the cold weather. I do wish that the costume would give you some tolerance to frost disorder, but or freeze disorder. But yeah, purely cosmetic. Yeah, there's a cool advertisement for the Crot Zoo. Yeah, I was about saying, come to our zoo and see these amazing animals and stuff. It's cool. The Crot Zoo newspaper and wrote. This is it's a Souls-like game, but yet it kind of feels like Resident Evil has all these documents and stuff you can read that gives you an insight into the game. They did it on the base game, so it's nice to see the DLC. Yeah, the DLC really stays this. Yeah, this Stargazer here, there's not another Stargazer for a while. So be prepared with that. Yeah, there's where I discovered that you could teleport back to the thing. Now, hopefully, I'm going to have this figured out so I can probably do this more effectively. But maybe not, because I just wanted to explain my thoughts on DLC. And, do tons of videos of this, but I really don't want to ruin the DLC too much. So, I'm just going to be covering this first part of it. Yeah, and I'm still stuck on this part, mind you. I think it's not even the real boss, it's like a mid-boss. But yeah, it's a boss that some people have shown. I don't know, is it an official boss or just a mid-boss, you could say. Yeah. Yeah, the aesthetic of this just continues the great aesthetic from the base game. The kind of gilded era kind of stuff. Yeah, the gilded era type of stuff. Yeah, the wonderful Crot Zoo. Yeah, here Jiminy then tells you that the Crot Zoo burned down. So he's like, how the heck can it be here? And I was like, geez, Jiminy, we're in the past. So I'm not sure like how many years this is supposed to be in the past. Do they tell you? I don't know. Yeah, so many people I've seen playing the DLC. Like I've already seen the final boss. But yeah, other people have kind of ruined it, but whatever. I just want to try to be modern with the games I'm playing. So these are games people are actually talking about. I feel like some people are really good at this because it's like, how did you beat the DLC already? I haven't even played it yet. Well, with this DLC, if you the first playthrough, you have to play like all the way up to the corrupted, the corrupted parade puppet. You have to fight him, and that's like chapter 8, which is halfway through the game, really. Yeah, at that time, you're just about going to the Isle of the Alchemists, I think, just before that. Yeah. Oh, I can make tons of videos just talking about how I love the base game. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen the lore videos some people have been doing. I've been wanting to start to do lore videos myself. Or I should do more videos like this, where I just show gameplay footage and talk, because you have something in the background going while I'm talking, so that there's something for you to look at while you're listening. Makes it more interesting, I think. Yeah, having some slowdown there. Yeah, when I play this game, I have to really focus on it. I can't like be distracted by anything. It's like it's just the way that the game Souls-like games are. You can't just mash buttons because you're gonna get annihilated. Yeah. Dude. I always feel the base game in this game. Sometimes I don't know. It's difficult as much as it feels like maybe unfair or maybe it can surprise you. Like you'll be fighting a boss, you'll be doing well, and then boom, bam, they do one attack and they can like take you completely out. And I've noticed with some enemies, they seem to stun lock you. Like they keep attacking you, and you can't attack at all. And that's an interesting thing. And recently, I did discover that yes, like some people had said, you need to use lighter weapons. And I noticed that some enemies you can stun lock them if you use the particular weapon. Like I'm using a strength weapon. You use those on yeah, on some of the enemies, and as long as you keep hitting them, they're like stun locked. And I've discovered that the light swords are good for fast attacking. So sometimes your advanced attack, high attack, isn't the best thing. Yeah, and you have to worry about weight, of course. Yeah, like you get too heavy, you can't roll. Yeah, definitely make sure you have like all the special armaments and stuff, equipable stuff to boost things. Yeah, it's like Kratzu and the poor giraffe. It's been yeah. As with everything happening in this game, a lot of terrible things have happened here. Yeah, these are the enemies like baboons. If you have a strength weapon and you keep whacking them, you can kind of stun lock them a little bit. So I figured those out. We could take them out one at a time. It gets difficult when you have multiple enemies coming at you. Yeah, see, they just pop out of the cages here, so keep that in mind. But Liza P in general is a game where you have to watch your surroundings. You don't know what's going to pop out. Yeah. Some of the zombies in this particular one are just really like, or carcasses as they're called, special armaments that make you do more damage to carcasses and whatnot. Yeah. I believe this was on the second level of difficulty. The first being super easy, and the second being somewhat tough, and then the third difficulty level trying to be what the original was. I loved the original difficulty. Well, trust me, I got really mad at the Liza P game. A lot of fights I get really angry. And a lot of times you feel like it's your fault. If you lose, you feel like it's your fault. Yeah. Yeah, the biggest thing about this DLC and the base game, no glitches. You know, it's like I play it, have no glitches at all. Like I said, this isn't the game. This is just the my Logitech capture thing, capturing the footage. I've checked it out when I put the graphic settings on medium. It seems to work great. I bet on the PlayStation 5, capturing from the PlayStation 5 is probably a lot easier. Yeah, computer games is always something you got to adjust. Or something going on in your computer, it could be messing it up. Yeah. Or maybe I just need to get a new Logitech camera. Yeah. Well, with Windows 11 coming out, they have all new kinds of apps that you got to download to do this with. And checking out my. I think this is where I discovered that the game was running slow, I think. Or it was slowing down. It's weird to go to this cool, like, zoo place. You know, you almost get that, like a movie like Jurassic Park, where you see, like, really the newer Jurassic Park movies or Jurassic World movies. They go to Jurassic Park, this concept of this great like park that existed before the terror happened. Yeah, and it's like the terror has happened. Oh, did my footage stop? Huh. I thought I had more footage than that. That's weird. Huh. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I guess I remember playing to a certain level. I guess we didn't get to that part. Well, anyway, there's a mid-boss here before you go into the Krot Zoo main building. A giant ape creature. Yeah, he does some massive damage and moves pretty quick. Um, he's very open at times, so you can kind of figure out how to do it, and then you get to a save point, and you have like the what is it? The murderous puppet lady is like talking to you through the stargazer, and she's like, welcome to Krot Zoo. Yeah, I think she's the ultimate boss. Yeah, I'm on this level. I'm stuck on the I believe it's a crocodile. Yeah, the crocodile. He's tough. He just keeps attacking you, and you don't have much room to breathe. Yeah, even with blocking and whatnot. I have felt that sometimes it does feel like parrying seems off. I don't know. That could be an issue with the game, perhaps, but I don't think so. Yeah, yeah. I can't say enough good things about the DLC and the base game. I almost wish you could just play the DLC right off the bat. Yeah, you can. I think can you play the DLC on different difficulties? Yeah, I always love the challenge of these games. I will admit, like I've played Dark Souls and some of those other games or Demon Souls. I get into playing them, and then sometimes I just like I don't know. I loved Elden Ring. Well, as I in particularly, I'm old enough to remember games were fun, and it's kind of nice if a game is a challenge because there's a lot of games that feel like they babysit you all the time. It's like there's an opening in the game and yeah, a tutorial thing, a whole giant tutorial thing. It's not done very well, and it's just kind of obnoxious. And it's like you get these like unlimited checkpoints everywhere around the corner. Yeah, this, as I said, if you die anywhere in this main area before you find the other stargazer, yeah, you have to go all the way from there, all the way down here and fight that giant mid boss I was talking about. And you have to kill him and go in the building before you can save. Because if I die here, I have to go all the way back there. So, yeah, there's not friendly with checkpoints again. Whereas some people like to say the walk of shame, you know. Or sometimes they make shortcuts, like in the base game, where you can find a gate, unlock it, and you can run right to the stargazer. And then just want to run past the enemies. Yeah, some of these enemies you cannot run past. Some of them you can just not fight. I don't want to get super stressed out. Yeah, there's a lot of other cool, weird mutant animals to fight here. There's kangaroos that can like their feet come right at you and stuff. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, all kinds of crazy critters. Of course, we've got our zombie people coming at you. Yeah, and it's interesting when you learn about some of the lore and stuff going on in the game about how Krot Zoo was built, who built it, and all of that. So it's kind of an interesting concept. I guess Krot was pretty big then. I guess. Yeah, this is kind of cool. It is an interesting concept to use a kind of like time travel thing for DLC. That's kind of interesting. Wish maybe they could do this with some other stuff. I really like these games, but I do feel like maybe we need to take a break from the Souls-like games because I feel like we just so many of them, and some people are not. Well, not some people might say, "Hey, Loads of P is copying Dark Souls." It's like, well, it does use a lot of those mechanics and same ideas, but it's done in a very unique way, a very unique package done here. So yeah, this company, wow, like, wasn't this like supposedly their first game, and they knocked it out of the park, and they knocked it out of the park with a DLC. I mean, God, I was like, oh, DLC for a game that's 2 years old or something. But no, it's been able to get me to be like, I want to play this. Yeah, it's bugging me that I figure out how to get past that crocodile and get to the rest of the game. Just really want to get there. Yeah, even on that difficulty, I some bosses I would die twice on instead of 5 times. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say these games are easy, but the Souls games don't hold your hand. That's something I like about it. It's not like, oh, you have unlimited continues and unlimited this, but when you die, there's actual consequence. You lose your stuff. Especially in Elden Ring, how many times I had tons of runes, and boom, I fall off a cliff, do something dumb, and yeah, when you do something and mess up, and it's perfectly your fault, it makes you even more ticked. Yeah. Yeah, I won't be doing it on streams. If I do games, I have a unique composure about myself. I really, really like this game. Yeah, it makes you just mad enough to want to keep playing it. Yeah, I mean, the music, great. The story, great. Graphics, great. I mean, graphics, great. It's so cool that this is available on Steam as well as the other consoles. Yeah, I mean, wow. Yeah. Well, yeah, as always, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to leave any comments you might want to about the DLC and the Lies of P game. Yeah, I talked to a friend of mine. We were, been talking and stuff. Yeah, she likes playing Assassin's Creed games. She works a lot, so she probably doesn't have a lot of time to play games. I don't know if she knows what I mean by Lies of P or whatever. But yeah, yeah. The title is rather weird, but I think that was done on purpose so that you know. It was done so that the game stands out, and this game definitely stands out, especially the DLC. Yeah, the music is cool. I feel like I want to go onto iTunes or somewhere and try to get the music so I can play it in my car. Yeah, because I'd love to listen to some of the soundtracks of the records. And I guess my biggest thing to say about the whole Lies of P thing, the DLC included, even the base game, the multiple emotions that this game gives you, like a lot of times you're like, yeah, you get angry, sad, happy. It's like all the emotions, like expressing the concept of what makes somebody human, I guess. It's like like the original story of Pinocchio wanting to be a real boy, like concept, like what is the concept of being human, I guess. And it's, yeah, you could say technically he's a robot, not really a puppet, but they use the term puppet to mean something a little bit different. They use ergo to power themselves. That's an interesting concept in of itself, but I think that's what it is. It shows like what is it to be human. Yeah, we meet like the serial killer robot dude he he's kind of like the Riddler on the base game. Yeah, he's like the Riddler on the base game. Yeah, he did riddles and stuff. it's interesting when he finally explains, like when he asks you, like the Geppetto's puppet character, like, are you human or a puppet? And you say you are a human, or you say, are you a murderer? And you're like, yes. And it's like, yeah, he's like, you are human because you can lie, because you have emotions and whatnot. And of course, Geppetto's puppet was originally a boy named Carlo who died, and then part of his soul, if you will, is into this puppet, and you have flashbacks and some memories of a life that you don't know about or something. And it involves around, yeah, yeah, the King of Puppets dude is supposedly someone from his past, and this DLC gives us a lot of backstory, not just about Krot and some of the early things that terrible things that happened in Krot. Yeah, Krot is just a cursed place. Yeah, what happened in Krot. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm kind of running on too much. Anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, you definitely want to check out the DLC. I was able to get Lies of P on Steam when it was on sale. I was able to get it for like $30. The price has now gone back up to like 56 or something. The DLC is like, I think, around $20. So yeah, and plus you can play Liza P is on Game Pass still, I think. So you can get it on Game Pass if you have Game Pass. Yeah, I have this on Liza P on just about everything, pretty much. I have Elden Ring, I have that on everything. Yep. Okay. Well, I'll see you guys later then. Catch you guys later. Bye.